Thank you very much. I work as data editor for the New Zealand Herald, and insights.nzherald.co.nz is our homepage. That's where we publish our visualizations. How many people have visited the site? Okay, that's impressive. So I'll explain what we do and how it connects to open data and the kind of issues we are facing. So open data and data journalism are inextricably linked. Data is the source for our stories. We don't really go and ask someone, what should we write about? We go and look for data sets, and then we analyze data sets, and then we tell stories visually. That's all we do. But it's really complicated because we're working in newsrooms where about 5 years ago, it was a matter of pride to say, I'm a journalist, I don't know how to use numbers. Some people still say it, but it's slowly shifting. In terms of data journalism and how it links with open data, I've been at the Herald for 2.5 years. The very first visualization I did was the census visualization from the 2013 census. And the reason I was able to use that data was because StatsNZ published machine-readable CSV files. So a lot of data is locked up in softwares, and it's hard to get out. So the biggest win for open data has been machine-readable data. And I wanted to mention a few of the projects which have been really helpful to us. StatsNZ is publishing CSV files, which is wonderful. We need metadata for it, so if anyone's here from StatsNZ. The Lens data portal is wonderful. They've got property titles data. The Education Counts statistics page is wonderful as well, and the MFE data portal as well. Now I wanted to mention some of the big issues, because that's what we're here for, so how we can move forward. So firstly, we don't actually know who to talk to get the data in a government department. Generally, we go to comms people because that's, for the media, that's the default way to get in touch. And this is an actual exchange which happened when we contacted, I won't mention the ministry. We said we want a certain data set, and they're like, what do you need it for? What's the story? And we basically went, we don't know what the story is because we haven't analyzed the data. And the exchange ended up with them saying the data doesn't exist. And then we did just a really good Google search query, and we found it on their website, and we sent them the link back. We're like, oh, here it is. So firstly, there isn't a port of call apart from StatsNZ, where you can contact a person and talk to regarding the data set. That's the biggest challenge from our perspective. I don't know if many people here know, but you can't actually publish a map of suburbs because the localities data in New Zealand's held by New Zealand Fire Services, so you can't actually publish a map of New Zealand suburbs. We're probably one of the very few countries in the world where it's illegal to publish a web map of New Zealand suburbs. Weather data is not available because it's proprietary, so you can't actually make a map or even make a visualization of different weather stations and how weather is changing at specific points in time. We don't have detailed NCA data. We know that overall the standards are rising, but you can't investigate it by school. At least we can't investigate it by school and ethnicity and so on. These are just some of the challenges. There are others. I just asked this on Twitter and got a huge response. I checked my notifications and there were like 50 responses. So there are issues which need to be addressed. So a thing which would be wonderful would be a visual map of all the New Zealand data, which we can navigate easily. I won't take credit for this. This is from Chris McDowell. It's his idea that you should be able to navigate data sets and find them. the only way to find them is to Google and be really good at it and learn where the data sets exist. The reason this site exists and we get paid to what I would say we hack journalism. We do data stories and we don't write headlines to attract audience. We create things which they would naturally like to play with. And the reason we get to do this is because people come and visit it and we win awards, which is what really counts in the newsroom. But there is no data journalism training in the country. AUT has one course, but it's not a data journalism course, it's a data literacy course. And I had the opportunity to hire 2 people for my team, but there was no one available in terms of journalistic skill and people who can write a bit of code. So the biggest challenge is for data journalism, which will make the data reach much larger audience. We built an election results site in the last election, and we had 1.6 million page views. And executives and editors just look at those numbers. But for readers, they were able to see how people voted at their polling booth. So it actually works. And for media, it works because people interact with it. But there is no data journalism training. And open data is great, and it's better when you can make it useful and people can see how it relates to their lives. So that's me. Thank you very much.